This clip is from the Buckle Bomb Show. New episodes drop every Sunday here at Bomb Media Productions. The Intercontinental Championship. Here early on in this show, you were talking a lot about the secondary titles in WWE, in particular the Intercontinental title, and how it didn't matter anymore, and no one cared. It was booked like shit. Here on SmackDown, it got a big push. They did the same thing they've been doing for the U.S. title. They showed a video package of its glorious history and put it over, and then they main evented SmackDown with a fantastic title match for the Intercontinental Championship between Gunther and Shinsuke Nakamura. A name escaped me for a moment. I apologize. Fantastic match between them that saw Gunther go over. How excited are you for this?
I'm really excited, especially, more reports surfacing this week. Granted, I think you take all of them with a grain of salt, but for the most part, what it seems like is Vince just hated everybody that had a title on him if you weren't related to The Rock. It was coming out that Vince started souring on the Gunther character, which rightfully so. Should he be Walter still? I think so. That's up for interpretation. But as you know, how passionate I was about something happening with the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. It seemed it was becoming one of those titles that was forgotten about. And then heading into SummerSlam, IC title wasn't even on the card. But I had a little glimpse of hope because they had JBL do that video package for the United States Championship, that they were trying to do everything in their power to light a fire underneath the ass of the title and get it back into prominence. Now they're doing the same thing with the IC title, and thank God, because, with Gunther being the champion, he is one of those dudes in the future I could see being WWE champion. Granted, I don't know how old he is. If memory serves me correct, I think he's in his early 30s. I know he's been on the British independent scene forever. But let's use this as a rocket ship to get Gunther to that next level.
Well, I mean, he's over a decade younger, I think, than AJ, or at least a decade younger. So he's still got plenty of time to stick around in the WWE if he wants to. I see 2023 being one hell of a year for Gunther, for sure. I love this. I've been pushing ever since they unified the World Championship, the World and Universal Championship at WrestleMania. I've been telling you, and then, of course, all the talk, and it's been true, of Roman not being around as much as champion and the one and only world champion. You had to push the U.S. and Intercontinental. You had to push the mid-card titles to be really important, because they're going to be headlining shows, and they're going to be headlining house shows. How are you going to do this if no one cares about the belts? Wait, we can say belts now. How about that? But that really wasn't getting done the way I was expecting it to. I was like, they have to, because the world title is not really going to be in the picture a whole lot. They have to elevate these championships. And they really didn't until, again, very recently, now that Vince is gone. They started with the U.S. Championship. Fantastic package where they claimed the history of the WCW/NWA U.S. Championship, which is great. And they moved forward into some good matches on Raw. Now they're doing the same for the IC belt on SmackDown, and I couldn't be happier. And they had a fantastic main event here on SmackDown. So I'm all about this. I'm excited to see the future. These belts could start main eventing pay-per-views that Roman and the world title isn't on.
Yeah, who would have thought that all it would have taken to bring these titles back to prominence and have people earning to see them more often in the mainstream eye was just a decently put together promo package with some images from the past and some stock footage.
Right. Use that couple of million you spent for the WCW NWA library to good use. Because Lord knows, and we're getting to the card here real soon, I went through Peacock and had a real hard time finding stuff. There's not as much old footage on there as you think there is.
That's Peacock in general. That app is fucking trash. I can't wait for it to tank.
And I remember there was so much stuff on, we'll get to it when we get to it. That's going to be part of the card. But yes, the app is trash, at least for what we need it for wrestling, but that's a different story. Let's stick on the Intercontinental Championship here. Obviously, it's got a history going back to the 70s when Pat Patterson won it in Rio de Janeiro in a tournament, supposedly. Right.
Who could forget?
And it's had a great history since. It's always been sort of the show-stealing match. Obviously, probably the best ever Intercontinental title match being Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3. A match everyone still talks about to this day. And I'm excited to see what they do with this title in the future, with both this and the U.S. title.
Some may say it's Shawn versus Razor at WrestleMania.
Sure. Unifying the belts there, absolutely. Nice ladder match.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by Bomb Media Production.